Welcome to the Cheetcode 150. We're going to be trying to get employed at one of these. This is the end goal, not be homeless. Make it through the current computer science market. We're going to try to live. That's the goal of this. No, we're going to get through the 150 Neetcode problems, the Neetcode 150 cheat code, because cheetah. And I would describe myself right now as not having much data structure experience, like little to zero data structure experience. Like right now, I've done, and we're gonna be doing a lot of this in Python. I'm more familiar with Java and JavaScript, and somehow I won a recent coding competition with very minimal data structure knowledge, very minimal like experience with like actual like competition code. But I've been doing a lot of projects in Java and JavaScript, so that's what let me like live during that. But I'm gonna be transitioning over to Python because I've been recommended it's like way easier when it comes to actually trying to do data structure stuff, solving like interview questions, which is what's needed. Like it's just a lot easier to practice on this. I've been told C as well, but I think Python's just gonna like streamline the process eventually. Maybe not now because I'm really unfamiliar with Python, but eventually it's gonna get to the point where I'm as familiar with it as I am with Java and JavaScript. So we're gonna be starting with Python. We're gonna be starting the Neetcode 150, and I'm gonna try to get through one of these a day and upload it. I'm gonna try to get through one a day, but I'm definitely not opposed to doing more than one a day. In fact, for these like really easy ones, like I know the first three are easy, so I'm pretty sure. I think hopefully more than one a day is the goal, but at least one a day, and then yeah, we'll see how that goes. I have another competition coming up in a little bit, so I hope this contributes to that. I don't know if pivoting to Python might be like evil coming to that though, but we'll see. We'll see. So here I have a little bit of a canvas in case I need to work out some data structure stuff. And then we can come back over here actually. Today is contains duplicate, which I want to say I've never seen this before, but I've opened this one by accident, even though I wanted to go in blind. And to some, I actually completed with, what do we call it? I completed with brute force, and I looked at how to do it the more efficient way, which is using a hash map, but that's still, I can still traverse that on my own, like as a new thing by itself. So contains duplicate. Let's see. Here's our first one. So this is going to be nasty for me because, like I said, I'm familiar with Java and JavaScript, but we're going to be learning Python as we're learning these Neetcode things. So we're going to see how that turns out. Given an integer array nums, return true if any value appears more than once in an array, otherwise return false. And they give us these examples. Okay, this doesn't, like, this looks really easy to brute force. I'm sure there's like some like space time complexity stuff that like makes it, yeah, that's like infinitely better than what I'm gonna do. But what I'm gonna do is I'm thinking of an O n to the power of 2 runtime. It's just gonna be a double loop, and it's gonna look through every element in the array and compare it to every other element in the array. Yes. So let's implement that real quick in Python, which, you know, I've learned how to do this. I think we should have the for function. Yeah. I looked at some Python documentation a little bit before this, so I'm not completely lost. But this is still going to be, so something for in the nums. And then we use these, which is nasty. Because I love the curly bracket notation. Like that feels so natural to me, but whatever, we'll live. For I in nums, we're going to iterate I. Then we're going to put this inside of for j in nums, we're going to iterate j. And then we're just going to take nums. I think the array syntax works the same, I would hope. But the general idea here is, here, and I'll do this, because I want to get some screenshots of everything that we're going to do. I'm going to paste it onto my slide so I can look back and kind of review how I did. But this one's simple. But we're going to iterate on this array. So we're going to iterate over here, and then we're going to iterate on a j. And then we're going to, and hopefully, you know, the goal is to improve. We have some better ways of writing this out eventually. We're going to iterate on j and compare every single little thing here kind of to itself. So 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4. And then we're going to compare, we're going to have the other set over here. And then we're going to compare 2 to blah, 2 to blah, 2 to blah, 3, etc., etc. We just have like a spider over here, a little monster. And then the same thing over here. And then that should be a really easy brute force method. So nums I, if nums I, oh no, wait. Oh, we shouldn't stopwatch. Okay, add 2 minutes to whatever we get for this. It'll be fun to see. It'll be fun to see that timed. If nums I is going to be equal to nums j. So this is compared. Then we're gonna return. I think we still have the same booleans. I remember this annoyed me so much. It says like output true, output false, but it's case sensitive in Python. It wants it case sensitive. So if it appears more than once, so this means it'll appear more than once, then we return true. And then outside of the for loop, we don't have to do that, we just have to do this. Outside of the for loop, we're going to return false, because that means we went through the entire thing, and they were all unique. Yeah. And there's an edge case here, where we don't want us to compare the iterated value to the same to itself, because then obviously they're gonna be equal to each other. So if that, and then if this. Wait, we can just one line that, I think. Do we have the and operator here? Does that work? Hold on. I'm sure this is not how you're supposed to do it in Python, but we'll try this first, and then return true. No, go back. If this, if the element that we're detecting is equal to the element that we're comparing it to, then continue. And it has to be that the element isn't being compared to itself. And that should be good. Okay, I lied, I did something. It did not like the AND operator, so I'm going to double nest that if, and then eventually I'll look back at some Python documentation, or just regular syntax, and I'll see how to make it so we can combine that, because that should definitely be like some one-liner thing. I don't want to nest for loops there. Unless you do have to nest the for loops in Python, that'd be evil. But, expect an indented block for the if. Oh, true. Return true. Alright, case 1. True. Case 2. I outputted nothing. Hold on. List index out of range. How so? What? For j in nums? That's weird. That really shouldn't be the case. Python starts at 0 for indexing arrays, right? There's no way it doesn't. I know there's some language that doesn't do it. I think it's Lua, but I think we're fine on Python. Hold on, wait. Nums j. Let's just do that to see if we can. Because then, if that's the case, what if it doesn't start at 0? But I think it should. Okay, well that just switches it to false. So that doesn't really help that much. Okay. Let's try. I think it's print. Yep. Let's print I and j, and then try to see. If you can see what's going on here. So compares 1 to 1. It compares 1 to 2. Compares 1 to 3. Compares 1 to 3. What? Why would you do that? Compares 1 to 3. Am I missing something here? I'm gonna try just doing a straight up range of 4. 4. I think that's how you write that. I'm gonna try doing a range of 4 to just hard code the size of the arrays we're working with to see if it's something to do with my for loops being funky. And then we'll see. Okay, so my for loops are funky in some fun way. But that is, no. Okay, that fixes it. That makes that happy. Okay, so then why is, hold on. Then why does it do that? It goes from, okay, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 2, okay. So first of all, these should be printed as minuses. Because for some reason, the 4... Huh. Do I want to do this? No, that's something completely different. Yeah, no. Okay, bah. There we go. Okay, so when it's within range, like, this works fine, because obviously it does, yeah, we're just searching through all this stuff. But when I do while in the nums, then it gets sad, it gets kind of angry. What? Why? I'm noticing the parameter here, nums is to list. Is it possible that self is the parameter for here? No, no way, right? Yeah, no. Also, what is this parameter being passed? I actually have no clue. But it doesn't look relevant. Okay, this was working fine. Because that's 1 to 2, 1 to 3. 2 to that, 2 to that. All the 3s are paired. Right, that one's beautiful. Over here. What is going on? That's so strange. 0 to 0, 0 to 1, 0 to 2, 0 to 2. Again. Okay, so when it goes to 0 to 2, what's the next step here? So once it gets to 0 to 2, then J should iterate again. It should be 0 to 3, right? But it doesn't want to do that for some reason. This should be really simple. I don't know why it's being so nasty with this. Okay, we're back, and I believe this should be the proper way to iterate through the array, which is weird because this feels like boilerplate in and of itself. And I was promised Python would have less boilerplate, but whatever. Right, range. Okay, yeah, range. And then we have a length function for nums, which feels like getting the array.length, but I think this should work. I think we'll be good with this. Nice. Okay, this is great. So this works fine, but we have this nested for loop here, and that's going to be really evil in terms of O of n runtime. So if we had like 5 elements, like if we had like the 4 elements here that we do, that doesn't really matter. This is fine. But there should be a better O of n runtime if we implement, and I don't remember if it's O log of n or like O n just by itself, but if we implement, I think a hash map here would be good. And then we can implement, let's say, we have 1 index, we have 2 index, we have 3 index, and they're like indexed by themselves because they're already numbers. But then we can check the 1 and see, use the number itself as a hash? Question mark? Wait. Anyways, we can index this somehow, and then use that to see if there's another similar index element already in the hash map. Or I think it's a dictionary in Python. I'm sorry, maybe calling it a hash map is like, that's not allowed. But we're going to do that, and I'm sure there's a way to implement a hash map into Python. So we'll be right back once I learn that. Okay, I'm back from having my fun looking through W3 and looking at some like different data, ways of handling data, and I actually think what I want to do here is use a set, because hash maps and sets, they both can't have repeated elements. And I think that's perfect here, because what I'm going to do, I don't know if this is the most efficient way to do this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare the set to the nums, and if there's any discrepancy between the set and the nums, then we know automatically that the nums, so some value appeared more than once in the nums, because if they didn't appear more than once, then it'd be the exact same as the set. So let's do that. Let's take this, and I just want to save this so I have the brute force method. We'll come back to that. But now let's come over here, and in the def, what I want to do is create a set. So it's going to be, let's have different. I don't know if you get a question mark to this, but I don't know. So let's have like potential difference. So potential difference, or a potential different one. Let's have that equal to a set of nums. Let me check. Hold on. Is that how you is that you do that? Let's see. Okay, right. No, not how you do that. We're gonna take this nums, because also I've been saying array. This is a list. This is a list. Two completely different things. Because you know we're in Python, so we gotta use the right language. But no, it's an array. It's an array. Nums dot no, hold on. No, we want this to be, yeah, this one, and we're gonna update that with nums. That should be good, but just to check, I want to print that out. Or hold on, wait. Let's have that, and then, hey, we want. Oh, right. The one time I need parentheses in Python. Don't do it. Run. What do you want? Oh, yeah, right. Let's ignore that for now. What do you want with it, bro? I don't want. Oh, it's asking for a bool when it does that. I don't know. Return true. Case sensitive. There you go. Are you happy now? Alright, so hey, we got case number 1 right. No, let's see. Send it out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Over here. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay, so that proved what I wanted to do with this. We can update it, and all it does is get rid of all the repeated what do we call it? All the repeated numbers in the array list. Sorry, in the list. So now we just need one iteration across this, and I believe what we could do is for I in, we have to do what, the whole length thing? It's range plan. I can't believe we have to do this for all the, every time we're gonna loop like this. Anyways, for length of nums, right? True. If nums I is equal to potdiff I, then nothing happens. Oh wait, no, hold on, wait. No, let's do a return on this. If it's, yeah, because that'll be better. So if it's not this, then we're gonna return, because in the underneath code we'll just skip anyway, so it's not like it matters. Yeah, all right. So if nums I is gonna be not equal to potdiff I, then we're gonna return. What do we want here? Return. Okay, true if it appears more than once. So this means if it's not equal here, it'll return more than once. So yeah, true. And then return false. That's not the case. Question mark? Right? Something went wrong. What happened? Oh, right. There we go. Colon. What do you want here? Oh, there you go. Oh my gosh. Let's duplicate. Oh, did it do the set object is not subscriptable? Oh, I'm sure it just doesn't want me to. Yeah, I'm accessing it like it's a list. Okay. How am I gonna access the set? I have something here to help me on the side to see how to use set. So potdiff. How do I want to access the set? Let's see. Oh, wait, I can't. Okay, you can't access items in a set. I'm reading this right now. Like, I'm learning. You can access items in a set by referring to an index or a key. It's kind of annoying. But you can loop through the set using a for loop. Okay. I'm happy to do that. Yeah, let's take it up to the loop up here. So for I in, what do we want? Yeah. Well, hold on. We don't even need to loop, do we? We could just check if the length of the set... Wait, hold on. We could just check if the length of the set is equal to the length of the nums. And if it's not equal to... Yeah, we don't even have to do a for loop. Wait, hold on. If set... Can we get the length of the set? That's something we could do, right? Surely. Set the length. Okay, hold on, wait. How to find length of set. Python. Can you do that? Surely something you can do. Yeah, you just use length. Okay. If length of potdiff is not equal to length of, what do we have, nums, then return true. If not, return false. Hey! Hey, wait, this is good. Oh, that's a nice way of doing it. I don't know if you're supposed to do it this way, but that was, you didn't even need to iterate. Oh, that's great. Oh, look, this is so much better. Look, we went from, what, O of, like, n to the power of 2 to whatever this is. I'm sure this is... I'm not sure how great this is, actually. But, well, you know what? No, I love this. We just needed if. Oh, I'm so happy with that. Oh, that fell together. Alright, hold on. That's nice. Okay, I'm proud of that. I'm happy. It only took 31 minutes, bro. Alright, let's submit that. No, I don't see how much better I could do than this, honestly. No, I don't see much better than this it gets. Do we have, like, any extra test cases? Ayo. Let's do a fun one. Let's do like that. Run. Yeah, that's great. They like that. Let's get rid of one of these so they're all actually unique. And then, yeah. Get rid of the 7 because I don't want the 6, 7 on there. Alright. Submit. Hey! Yo, wait, we can see the daily streak on the, on our thing. So that'll be fun. So that means if I can't pre-record videos because then you're going to see the daily streak go away. Okay, happy with that. Hopefully we can get that daily streak up to 150. Actually, no, that's a lot because what if I do multiple a day? Alright, whatever. Forget about it. And less complexity, yeah, sure. Yay. I think that's good. It's better than, oh, and it's the power of 2. It's probably because we had to still create the pot diff. That's probably what's taking up the time. Alright. Well, I think that wraps it up for today. I am pretty pleased with that, actually. I updated right over here. Contains duplicate with the nice little things here. I think the code is pretty self-explanatory. I don't know if I'm going to write out like a diagram over here to do that, but that was a whole lot of fun. I feel like a lot of this went into trying to learn like how to do this in Python in the first place, but that one little moment where I was like, oh wait, we could just check the length of the sets, not like if there's like differences between them. I was happy with that. That was cute. I like that. All right. Well, actually, let's look at some fun solutions. Hash set sorting. So you were supposed to use a hash set. Wait, is hash set the same thing as a set in Python? No clue. We'll see. Brute force. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's like what I think that's like verbatim what we did. Maybe question mark. I think that might be like almost exactly what we did. Oh well, I had the print in there for no reason. But no, yeah, that's essentially what we did. We did the -1 for some reason. I don't know why we ended up doing that, but I mean it worked. That's a bit odd. Time complexity and to the power of 2, but space complexity 1. That's fun. Sorting. We sort the array, then duplicate values appear next to each other. That makes sense. And then we just iterate through the array once, and then we can see if the one behind it. Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what they did. And then see if the one behind it is the same. And then that'd be easy. And log event. Right. A lot better. Depending on the sorting algorithm. No, okay, so we just sort it, and then, yeah, this depends on the sorting algorithm. And then we're done with that. Nice. And then hash set. Is this what we did? Is this where we use the set? We can use a hash set to officially keep track of the values we've already encountered. True. Blah, blah. Yeah. Def has duplicate. They iterated here. They iterated. We did not do that. But is this essentially the same thing? No, I think this is kind of different, isn't it? We have something kind of different from this. Is this the best solution? Hold on. Hash set length. No, wait. We did this. Yet only stores unique values. Duplicates are already removed. Right. Because we used the set over here. So we're just going to do that. And then see, yeah. See if the sets are different lengths. Okay, you can do less than, I guess. But I mean, this serves the same purpose. Oh, wait, they did this like infinitely faster. Wait. Return length set nums. Oh, we could have just set it like that. Okay, so they one-lined this. So they kind of mogged me a little bit. But that's alright. We'll live. We have the same thing. Alright. This one was a lot of fun. This was a few cute first question to go at. I appreciate this introducing me to some new Python things. I didn't even know sets were a thing, but that's like the perfect tool to solve this. So, yeah. Great work, team. Well, that'll be it for Cheetcode today. We're gonna get employed. Let's go.